little you so you can see it. Nod when you see it.
Okay.
So here we are, Facebook. And before we start, I just want to acknowledge my two sponsors, the amazing Kevin Davis, the Marine of Comedy, and also Jeffrey Peterson, the 420 comic. 420 is legal here, so there you go. I don't know what state you're in, but here we go with today's morning interview with New York's very own crooner and comedian and host of his own very own mic at the Belmore Bean in New York, the Les Degen. Good morning.
Great plug. How are you, Lyndon Marcus Smith?
Thank you. Thank you so much for.
Did you tag me in the line? Because this way it'll go on my page.
Yes, it says you're watching.
It says I'm watching, but is it on my page though? Let's see.
Supposed to be.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Well, it has to be because you're.
It had to be you.
Woo!
It had to be you.
Woo!
I wandered around. Okay, I'll be quiet.
No, I want more. Let me lead you into other songs.
Well, let's see. So I don't. If people are on my page, they can't see it. But you're gonna keep this up.
Yes.
So I can always share it after the fact.
Yes, you could go to your page and tell them to watch it live on my page, but maybe when I hit finish at the end, then it will go on your page. You know,
Okay, we'll do that. Let's just have fun in the meantime.
I could call Mark Zuckerberg if you want.
You can. Sure, he's here. Mark, then. Oh, he went out for a second.
What in the world, Les Degen? I met you in New York, and you came to one of my comedy shows at the VA hospital.
That's right. That was very special. Thank you for asking me to do that.
It was so special to me, the way that you made grown men cry with your singing. How can you tell jokes in the middle of songs? You just, my gosh, what you did that day was so special.
Well, if you know the material and it's ingrained in your head, then when things happen, it's easy to just go with the moment, you know. So that's how we do it.
That's beautiful. When I go to karaoke and I mess up, then I start riffing about messing up and how, I never went to music class. What do you want?
Mess up, and how could you possibly mess up at karaoke? Don't answer that. You're asking me to question.
There's too many possible answers for a 30-minute interview to tell you.
That's right. So where are you physically right now? I'm in Seaford, Long Island.
Now, how far up Long Island is Seaford, Long Island?
It's about 34 miles east of Manhattan.
Wow. Yeah.
It's not far.
I'm
How
in,
many miles east of Manhattan are you?
I am west of Manhattan, I'm not sure if I'm west of the Continental. Listen, I'm in Vegas. There's some mountain out there. I think it's like I don't know. I took a trip to it, not the Continental Divide, but
Right.
there's something here, and I don't know if it's west or east of me. Anyway, I'm by Area 51, if that counts.
Oh, that explains a lot, Linda.
Like,
How many times have you wandered in there over the last 20 years? Now I understand.
they bring me breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I'm feeling really happy today. A little forgetful.
Good. I'm happy too. But then again, I've developed a reputation for always being happy, right?
Yes, and positive and a mensch.
Right, but can I tell you something? Being happy takes a lot of hard work,
It does.
right? Every morning I read motivational literature, I listen to inspirational music, and I smoke a bowl of opiated hash. I'm kidding. Relax, I'm kidding. I never read before noon. All right, that's my joke for the day.
That's beautiful. So, what inspired you in your early life to love comedy so that you would make it a passion?
I don't know. I guess I grew up. I'm an only child. I named me Leslie, so I had people constantly, girl's name. So I guess maybe I needed a way to kind of defend myself. I don't know. I've always really craved attention. Going back as far as kindergarten, I think it's interesting. I'm still in touch with my friends from kindergarten.
Wow.
Found many of them on Facebook, and as far back as I can remember, I've always been like this.
That's
So I don't know. It's I don't know. Everybody's different. Everybody turns into who they are, right?
Yeah, I get the feeling that you are who you are in person is who you are on stage.
There's two trains of thought. There are some people who actually have a character act, and they're nothing like the real person. However, me, pretty much real.
Yeah.
Pretty much real.
Yeah.
Yeah. It takes a long time to develop that. I think when I first started doing comedy, and you remember, a shout out to my good friend Gladys.
Yes. I love that we're connected with Gladys.
That's right. She helped me a lot because I was originally, my background in performing was musical theater.
Wow.
I've always been witty and like comedy, but when I started doing comedy, I could see how really I was as an actor, doing my impression of a stand-up comic.
Wow.
But it took years to really be comfortable enough to just be myself on stage and coming from a genuine place.
Yes.
It's really hard to do. Plus, if you're getting better 5 minutes at a time, 20 minutes at a time, it's a very long process, as I'm sure you know, right?
Very long. Yes. You're so lucky if you find a way to be yourself on stage. That's like being a millionaire.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely feels like it. I miss performing, though.
Yes. You go to, you have your own mic at the Belmore Bean up in Long Island.
Right. That's the weekly workout room.
And
And I also work with a lot of independent producers here on Long Island and Manhattan, doing churches, temples, restaurants, some of the clubs.
that's great.
And, I wish this would all come back soon.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So you're in the thick of the whole pandemic. You're in the hot spot. Team.
Yes, live from the epicenter. It's Les Degen.
So has the pandemic made any of your friends or relatives sick or worse?
I do have friends that have gotten the coronavirus, and fortunately they're all okay. My next door neighbor is on the front line. She's a nurse and she works in the COVID-19 area of her hospital, and every day I see her come home from work and she's just totally spent. And she has just seen firsthand.
Wow.
You know, people die, and that's tough. But I don't know anyone personally that passed away, but I have friends who have friends or relatives that do. So it really affects everybody.
Yes, it does. People out here, out west, you know, where they wear 10-gallon cowboy hats and dream of...
Out west? Howdy, ma'am.
They dream of...
Anybody that's got the coronavirus? Did you hear? The coronavirus is in town. There's something there.
So...
That's not a bad idea. That's right. And the coronavirus was like out west, that it was part of a western, and that was the villain, right?
And you...
The coronavirus brothers are in town. Right? And then I would come out of the saloon and meet the two of them, and I'd hold my guns and say, this town ain't big enough for the two of us. And I wouldn't be wearing a mask, and they would infect me, and I would die within 10 minutes, and that would be the end. Not a happy ending. Why did I think of that?
That's...
I tell you how happy I am, and then I create a situation where I die.
Out here, out west, a lot of the people are not experiencing real-time anything about COVID-19. It's something on the news that they can say they have a conspiracy theory about. That's why when I talk to somebody from the east side of the map, I want them to make it real, because I have people right outside my door with the virus that won't stay in their room.
Yeah, that's very sad. But how could anyone watch the news and think that this is like not real?
Yeah, it's like,
Do they think that it's all actors and actresses that are doing this?
exactly.
I could be very dramatic, and there would be people that think the Holocaust
Thank you.
isn't real.
Yeah. And like we had all kinds of newsreel footage. It wasn't like somebody animated and put bodies there and people lined up at ghetto fences. They really had footage of it, and now we have it on the internet and TV. You can no longer turn on the TV to escape the reality of COVID-19. Every ad reminds you of this special time we're going through. So I don't know, maybe the suffering is too much that they have to pretend it's not real.
You got me. There's people giving opinions and looking at this in ways that I just totally contrary to what I see and what I believe. But
Yes.
that's the same with a lot of things, right?
Yes.
It could be this, it could be politics, it could be people. It's just people have their own set of values and belief systems.
Yes.
Everybody's different.
Absolutely.
Some things like you can't explain.
Well,
Sometimes you inherit it from your, I don't know if it's genetic, it could be, but a lot of times, like when you're growing up, it's like what you hear your parents and people around you saying, then you start to develop, those beliefs.
yes. So I was just wondering, you mentioned that your parents were immigrants. Mine were too. They came here after Hitler in Germany. Where did your family come from and when?
Mine came before Hitler in Germany. I think from the same place. They're both from Vienna, Austria.
Oh, wow.
Were you Austrian or where?
No, were from Frankfurt.
Oh, from Germany. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
My parents are both from Vienna. They didn't know each other there though. But they both got lucky. When right before things started getting bad, my mother worked in an office, and one of the Nazis that was in the area and in the office took a liking to her. She was very pretty and very nice, and he called her aside and said, "Listen, things are going to get really bad. If I were you, I would get the hell out of here." So there were Nazis that understood and were giving warnings. People don't realize this. So she left with her family and went to Brooklyn, where they came to live. My father was lucky when he caught, wind that things were happening. He went to Santo Domingo with some of his friends and relatives, and he lived in the Dominican Republic for 10 years. There was a place called Puerto Plata or San Sui, I think it was, where they were accepting Jewish refugees. So he lived there for 10 years, had a life, and then decided that he had a better life in America. So him and his friends and some of his brothers, they went to New York, where he lived, and then his first cousin, who actually knew my mother back in Vienna, knew them both, so we set them up on a blind date. And the rest is history.
How special is that? Wow. So when they came over here, when they immigrated and got here, did they have anything from their old country possessions, or did they have to give it all up?
I think we have some things. I think my mother's Shabbos candles.
Yes. How special?
Not the ones that I post on Facebook
Every Friday.
Friday night. But I think those original candlesticks are from Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And so she took them when I was a kid growing up. Friday night, she would light the candles, and we have them in our house. And like special holidays, we do take them out and light candles. So we have that. But other than pictures, I don't really have a lot of things. No.
Yes. My family, when they got here, they had a sugar bowl. And in those days, evidently, they could bring the sugar in it. And one day, my mom was using the sugar bowl, and out popped 2 old world diamond rings in platinum.
What?
Yeah, with a note inside of it from their neighbors who were going to the camps. And they said, hold on to these rings until we come back, if we come back.
Oh my God, that is absolutely chilling.
Isn't that something?
That is absolutely chilling.
But let's tell jokes.
Yeah. All right. Okay, that's what happened during the Holocaust. Now, here's Les Degen.
Follow that. I'm like Debbie Downer on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, she's great. Oh, she's wonderful.
I should just be her.
Right, that's funny stuff.
So you grow up being really funny. Ever since you can remember, you've been like this. And at what point did you say, I'm going to give up every thought of becoming a Jewish doctor or attorney, and I'm going to go on stage and just make people laugh?
Boy, was that a stereotype. Wow. Wow. I actually never thought that I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to play center field for the Yankees.
Wow.
Someday I would take over for Mickey Mantle, but that wasn't going to happen.
Are you good at baseball?
Yes, I'm a very good athlete.
Wow.
I don't really play anymore, but I grew up in Sunnyside, Queens. I didn't play baseball. I played softball.
Yes.
We used to play on concrete, asphalt, parks and playgrounds with it's called a double-headed clincher. It was this hard, big softball, and that's what we used to play.
Wow.
I was very good. I was a little guy, but I hit the power.
Mm-hmm.
And I played third base and center field.
Oh, wow.
So I miss baseball too.
So do you do the 7th inning stretch now?
Do I do the 7th? Now I'm doing like every inning I'm stretching. There is no baseball. That's all I can do is stretch.
I miss...
Are you a baseball fan?
Yes, I kept score for baseball in high school. So I
Who did you score with in high school? Oh, I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Okay.
That's okay. I was thinking about saying it that way, and I thought, oh no, Les is too clean. He won't want that.
You see, what you just did when you said that was you threw me a nice fastball, right? Right here, chest high, 60 miles an hour, and just boom. And I got a hit.
Yes, you did. You got a real hit. So did the whole team.
Give me the next pitch.
So did the whole team that day.
What was that?
So did the whole baseball team that day.
You did the whole baseball team that day?
No, they did me.
Oh, they did you? Oh.
It was back in the day where we couldn't say no.
This is starting to go off in a totally different direction. And I am going, so do we...
Do you have your credit card handy?
Let's change subject. What did you do with the football team?
Oh, I love football too. I really understand.
I'm sure you did.
What were your favorite sports to play besides baseball? You look like an all-around athlete to me.
Well, let's see. I played football, not tackle, but we used to play touch football in my neighborhood. I was a pretty decent tennis player.
Love it. No pun intended.
Basketball I enjoyed, but I wasn't really great. So I guess baseball and football were my best sports.
Why weren't you great at basketball? Because
I was just okay. I don't know. I was a very good ping pong player.
I love ping pong. There's no team. There's no team.
No, no.
There's no I in team, but there's the team in I.
Want to play ping pong?
This is going to be my...
Isn't that what we're doing now? We're playing ping pong. We're playing verbal ping pong. Right?
I think there's some kind of tension.
Me. Sometimes you hit it and I miss it. Sometimes I hit it back and you miss it. Sometimes you wish the game was just over. You know?
So let's get back to you as a performer.
Yes.
So
Yes.
acting came first, and then you went to Gladys Simon at Comic Strip Live, and she told you the truth like she always does, and you started trying to incorporate who you were on stage. Was totally opposite of acting skills.
Well, it's intricate, it's complicated, it's a little bit of a combination of the two. Because I think when you're a good actor, you bring real feelings into a scene, or you have to be a certain character, and you draw emotions from something you really experience. So when you're on stage, one of the things that Gladys really helped me out with, and I hope she'll be watching this at some
I'll tag her.
One of my biggest problems was, for maybe the first couple of years, maybe more, I would, once again, I was like doing my impression of a comedian. You know, it was just, okay, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So when I went to her open mic, and she said, you know, Les, you're very good. You got great energy and delivery, and your material's very good. But what you're doing is stop laughing at your own jokes. It's like when you do a joke and people are laughing, you start laughing along, and don't do that.
Wow.
When the laugh comes, stay with the emotion of the joke and stay cynical. Like if you tell a joke where you're frustrated or angry about something, you know, you get to the punchline, and then when everybody would laugh, I would start laughing too, because that was pretty funny, wasn't it? No, stay with it, and that little laugh at the end then keeps going and going and going.
I just learned something. How much do I have to pay you?
Let me see. Let's see. What time is it? Well, afternoon, the rates are usually lower. You don't have an account with me, do you? Okay.
At the Belmore Bean.
Yeah, that'll be $65. That's all.
Good. That's great. Anything under 100 is great. So
Anything under 100 is good.
So you got to Gladys Simon at Comic Strip Live, and when anybody says anything good about Gladys, I tag her in the post. Everybody...
I originally met her at when she did the mic at Hamburger Harry's.
Oh my gosh, you go back to Hamburger Harry's?
Right, and I remember the first mic that I ever did at Hamburger Harry's, and she got up, it was the back of a hamburger joint.
Yeah.
And I had just started maybe a year in or a year and a half in. I mean, she didn't give me that cynical advice until down the road. That didn't happen right away. And I remember her getting up there, and she would give a speech before the show started. And this is something that always stuck with me. And she says, when you get up here, because I'm looking out at you, you know, we all want to be stars, but let's be real. Most of you are never going to make it to David Letterman. It's just not going to happen. However, when you get up here, you're not in the back of a hamburger joint. It's your time to shine. You pretend that you're on David Letterman. So that's the example that she gave. So whether you get up in front of 2 people, you know, or 30 people, or 200 people, doesn't matter. That's your moment. You put yourself in that situation. And I always remember that.
That's amazing. I love that. I'm going to start doing that.
That's right.
I'm going to owe you so much money.
Think of how much Gladys is going to owe me for all these things that I'm saying about.
So you go to Gladys's and you go to other mics. How long in comedy before you started getting booked on shows and getting booked in all over Long Island doing corporate comedy and crooning?
Little by little. I'm also going to give a shout out. I remember my first paid gig. I think might have been maybe 2 years in or 3 years in. I can't remember. Do you know Thomas J. Kelly?
No.
He's the warm-up comic now for Good Morning America.
What?
He used to be the warm-up comic for The View.
What?
He's a professional comedian. He's originally a Long Island comic. And I remember he had said, Thomas J. Kelly, I'm telling the story. If you're going to see this, that's okay, because I love you. So he ran a comedy open mic out of a place called the Brownstone Coffee House in Amityville. And I guess I met him, like, you know, in some of the other open mics. And back then it was like all booked open mics. He would send out an email, and he'd have so many people on the show. So when I did that mic, I met several other working comics that were there to, you know, work on their stuff. And that's how you make your way up the ladder. It's you be funny, but you got to make friends and network, and that's how you do it. So I was still kind of new and working stuff out. And then on one, I think it was a Wednesday night or something, we were doing a show in just a coffee house, and there were like 4 teenage girls from Northport High School. And they were there because he was pitching and booking them to do a fundraiser at Northport High School. So he said, come on down so you could meet me and see some of the comics. So I did my set on this booked open mic, and then I get an email from him to say, Les, he goes, you know, the girls came down and they said they wanted you to be on the fundraiser. And he said, and there's pay. And he told me how much I would get, and I'll keep the business between him and me. And that was my first paid gig. So it was this big auditorium, like 400 students. It was a big, beautiful, like a Broadway theater. And I did, I think, maybe 8 minutes or something. And I did great. And I was, you know, on the show with some other, you know, pros. And it was a wonderful experience. And then I think he got paid a check or something. He didn't have the money. He said, the next time, you know, I see you, I'll pay you. And then there was what's called a $5 mic at the Brokerage Comedy Club, where on like one Thursday night a month, comics would pay $5 to do 5 minutes. That was the kind of, you know, off-peak way that the club would make some money and bring in people. So I saw him at the bar, and he goes, oh, Les, here, I got your money. And he gives me the money, and I look at it, and I said, Tom, you gave me too much. This is more than you said you were going to give me. And he said, I know. And that was it. And that's how it, so then little by little, you know, you start getting better, you make some friends, and then like I don't really, other than my singing shows, we're probably not going to get a chance to talk about that, but I perform at churches, temples, assisted living, nursing homes. As a comedian, I don't really produce shows. I usually work for other producers. So, you know, just from being around and knowing people and networking, you know, thankfully, you know, on the roster of different producers that book shows, and it just takes time to, you know, and wherever you go, even at open mics, you know, you meet people, you try to be funny, be professional, you know, be a gentleman or a lady, be respectful, and people want to hire. You got to be funny, but people like to work with people that they like.
Yes. And everybody I know that's ever heard your name spoken has always said positive things.
Well, I'm grateful for that. I try not to give people a reason not to. It's funny, whenever somebody tells me, Les, you know, no one ever says anything bad about you. I usually say, that's because I don't produce any shows.
Whenever I think of you, I think that less is more or less.
Oh, well, hold on, let me write that down. I never heard that before.
Thank you for putting me in my place. So, tell me some. I'll stay on here as long as you want, because I
really just have a few minutes because I do have a day job.
Oh, you do? What's your day job?
I work for 13 beautiful years for Mercury Shipping and Logistics. We are a shipping partner for companies offering a wide variety of shipping logistics services, small package, freight, domestic, international, warehousing, and great company. I'm there for 13 years. We're in business for 36 years. And I'm very grateful, especially since there's no show business right now, to have a good day job. And then and I'm still working from home and staying busy. It's challenging, but, you know, focusing on certain industries. And that's why I have to go.
Okay, so where on the internet can people follow you to make you more popular so you can be on the Late Show tomorrow?
Okay, all right. Les Degen, you can go to my website, which my daughter Liz made for me. It's at www.lesdegen.com. And there's a few clips of me telling jokes, doing some songs. You can see my schedule of all my canceled shows. Right, and if anybody is looking for a more cost-effective and efficient way to handle any of their shipping and logistic needs, you can go to shipmercury.com. That's it. In case any of my coworkers or my boss is watching, then I've killed two birds with one stone.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for the interview. One last tip.
Yes.
People go through trauma and they come out better human beings because of something they were aware of, made aware, observed. How are you going to become a better human being because of the pandemic?
How am I going to become a better human being due to the pandemic?
Susan Hirsch is on here and says, "Hi, Les."
I can't see any of the lives, so I have no idea who's watching. That's a great question. That's one like you just threw at me, and I'm like, I can't get the bat off my shoulders. I can't hit it back. What am I'd have to think. Let's see. To make me a better person.
I'll tell you a couple of the answers. Other people have said they're going to be more patient with other people. They're going to be more patient with themselves. They're going to come up with a way, because of things being shut down, to be able to incorporate using Zoom or a website, marketing themselves over the computer, those kind of answers.
I have the answer for me, okay? And a lot of my joy in life comes from singing, my comedy, from going out and doing things, from seeing my 3 beautiful kids. And for the most part right now, all that is being taken away from me, so I could get really angry and frustrated, which I am. However, and I actually posted this on Facebook this morning. I'm home with my beautiful wife. She's my best friend, and we have each other. As far as not being able to perform, it's making me look at just myself and saying that I don't need these. I'm looking for, the things that I have. I have a nice warm home. I have food on the table. I know that this is going to end eventually, and we'll be back out there. So I guess it's just being thankful for being alive, which I think we really, really discount.
Yes.
I work out every morning, and I know this is going to sound like one of these positive motivational things, and it'll make people throw up and say, "Yeah, screw you, Les. I don't need that. Don't give me that crap." But when I finish my little workout, I'm on my back, and I'm breathing, and it just really, it's like it feels good to be alive and breathing, and now I have a shot.
Yes.
So,
we don't take anything for granted now. This is
right. So that's probably my answer, right? Not taking anything for granted.
Yes. Thank you so much for the time. Have a wonderful day working at your working.
Thanks so much for having me. How about a big hand for Linda Marcus Smith?
Woo!
And,
Les Degen.
I can't wait to see you in person when this is all over.
Yes.
All right?
Tell your wife hello. Love you both. Mwah.
All right, big hug.
Big hug. I felt it.
All right.
Love you.
See you soon. Thanks for
Bye.
having me.
You bet. Always. Bye. When you go back, when the things go back to Belmore Bean, when Belmore Bean wakes up and goes back in business, come back on and do a plug.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
That's at the Belmore Bean Cafe, Grand Avenue. Jim and Natalie Hookey run the best coffee shop in town. How was that, Jim and Natalie?
And that's up in Long Island. What part of Long Island is the Belmore Bean?
The Belmore Bean is on Grand Avenue in Belmore, just a block north of the Belmore train station.
Got it.
Easy to get to from anywhere. And when you come to New York, I want to see you there.
I will be there. That will be one thing I have to do.
Okay.
Thank
See
you.
later.
Bye, Les. Well, let me drop my computer for the 5th time this week. And then I wonder why I have computer issues. Like, dang this internet. Oh yeah, I dropped my computer 5 times. That was an amazing time with Les Degen. I just love him so much. Yeah, he's been doing acting and singing, and then he started doing comedy at Comic Strip Live with Gladys Simon. Well, he actually started at Hamburger Harry's like 30 years ago with Gladys Simon, but so I met him when I lived there twice, and I had a weekly show both times at the VA hospital in Manhattan on 23rd and 1st Ave, and he came to my show and entertained the military. And he so touches you when he sings, and he's able to do crowd work inside of his songs that he made grown men cry. They were just so touched by his human, reaching out and being a human. He's in the moment, but he's touching their souls. I can't even explain it. Made me cry to see grown veterans, of all that he touched the lives of every genre, like there were young 20-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 60, 70-year-olds in the room. And he had the older ones crying in the front row. They were crying in the front row. That's how good he is. Let's see what the notes say. I went to school with his wife. You did? Yes, he is so talented, Susan. So talented. Who can sing a song and do crowd work at the same time? Have you seen him do that, Susan? Oh, Jackie Knight's on here. Hi, Jackie. Hi, Linda Diaz. It says only 2 or 1 people are on here. Brad Trackman, hello. Let me go back. Thank you for joining in. Brad's going to be here tomorrow. Michael Loftus, hey. Bill Gewurz, Jay Christopher, the legend. Oh, thank you, Jay. He says we're looking good. Guys, wait a minute. I'm looking so good I look like a man? Oh, here's a note. The interview is over. I was not able to see any of the comments, but we'll look through them later. Thanks so much for having me. You're the best. Oh, Les, you're the best. You're the best. So talented. So very talented. Yeah. Inside of this, if you didn't hear the whole thing, go back and listen to it. It gave some really great performing tips, comedy performing tips. Even like if you're an actor / comic, how to do that correctly. So that's about it. That's all there is with that one. When you make some goofy faces. I'm a little bit like Carol Burnett, a little bit like Lucy, and just tell jokes. I don't do all that they do. I can walk down a staircase with a curtain rod if the staircase is wide enough. How long could I stay on here and bore people? I guess I should get off of here. This used to be where I would have those flyers behind me up on the TV, but I don't use that anymore. That's where I do my broadcasts. I have a coffee, a 3-pound coffee thing, a Kleenex box, and another coffee thing holding my computer up. This is my apartment. See how neat and tidy I am? I have no furniture anywhere in my apartment but functional, messy. My bed. That's my apartment. Now you've seen my apartment. So I think Susan's still on here, right? Susan, are you a comedian? Because if you are a comedian, I want to interview you too. So hit me up on Facebook so we can nail in a date where you can also try to one-up me with jokes. You are a comedian, Susan. I should have known that. Oh, you're not a comedian? Or you don't want to have an interview? I don't know which. But if you are a comic and want to do an interview, I would love to have you on. You are a comic and you don't... Oh, you're not a comic. Oh, cool. You support comedy in Les Degen. And you know his wife from way back, right? What type of work do you do? Let's turn this into like an interview of you, even though you don't want one. What kind of work do you do? Or, if you're retired, what type of line of work were you in? I just want to get to know everybody. I'm lonely. This pandemic is actually making me very inquisitive. I always ask people lots of questions. So interviewing them is what I am at the bus stop. I'm the annoying little old lady. Hi, how are you? Oh my gosh, that's a pretty jacket. Oh, I just got it yesterday. Oh, where'd you get it? Question. You work with kids. That's so amazing. Well, I'll talk to you later. I should probably get off here and rest before my next interview. It's nice talking with you. Thank you so much for being on here. It's time for me to make a cup of coffee, which is very high tech. I have to walk from my water and coffee pot all the way to my microwave. Everything we do right now is all within our house, so it's kind of hard to get them steps in, ain't it? See you later. Bye.